I'm Nico, and this series is all about mushrooms. Some are useful and some are almost useless, but they all have their place in Breath of the Wild. Like my fruit series, we'll learn what they're used for and where to find them. Basically, it's the second half of your first material page. You could look this all up yourself, but I did the research for you. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want more Zelda content, I hope you consider subscribing or at least checking out the channel. I believe there's only two reasons you may need Hearty Truffles. First, if you're trying to collect materials, or second, if you're cooking them. Like all materials that have the word Hearty in its name, when cooked, you get temporary hearts. However, each cooked Hearty Truffle gives you only one temporary heart. So if you cook 5, you'll get 5 temporary hearts, unless you combine them with another Hearty material. One heart may seem small, but it also fills your permanent hearts to the max. So if you have lots of hearts, you only need one Hearty Truffle to fill your hearts. Now for my secret about finding Hearty Truffles is, there is no great place to farm them. Like Swift Violets, they're all over Hyrule, but I'll tell you how I like to farm them. First, there is one location with a decent amount, and it is west of the Farron Tower. Going there will get you about 15 Hearty Truffles. But another reason I go here is to collect Hinox drops, about 10 Aurochs, and a few Hearty Bass. Like that location, the next 5 locations are great for farming other things along with a few Hearty Truffles. In the Tauren Wetlands, there are 6 Hearty Truffles, and while you're here, collect from the Guardians, some radishes, big Hearty Truffles, amaranth, and for whatever reason you need them, Hyrule herbs. In the Rockwoods, there's Octoroks and 3 Hearty Truffles, and south of there in the Akala Valley, there's about 10 Hearty Truffles, 2 Lynels, Zapshrooms, and electric rhino beetles. The whole field north of Hyrule Castle, from Serene's stable all the way to the Lost Woods entrance, you can find up to 20 Hearty Truffles. Other than that, there's Hinoxes, a Lynel, some Darners, butterflies, big Hearty Truffles, and lots of Razorshrooms. And around the south side of Rito Village, there's about 10 Hearty Truffles. And of course, other than that, you can get some frogs, beetles, and Tabantha wheat. And finally, not Satori Mountain because they're too spread out. Buy them anytime you go to Hateno. You'll travel here to go to Link's house anyway, and that's the only place you can get milk. But I will mention, because someone else will, especially if they didn't watch this far into the video, there is one tree on Satori that has all mushrooms except big Hearty Truffles. Like I said, they're all over and there isn't one place that's great. This is just the way I like to farm them, and if you want to see for yourself the exact locations, you can use the object map I use. Just check the link in the description. If you're not collecting materials, Endura Shrooms are basically needed for cooking. Cooking 1, 2, or 3 will get you 20% temporary stamina. Cooking 4 or 5 will get you 40%. The best way to use them is to cook them one at a time, and just use them to fill your permanent stamina to the max constantly if you need it. And that's basically it on what they're used for. There's a few places you can visit regularly if you're collecting them. First, in the forest by the wetland stable, there are 8 Endura Shrooms, but I visit here regularly because there are Hearty radishes and big Hearty radishes. Second place I would go is the Thundra Plateau and move south to the Hyrule Ridge. You'll find more than 10 Endura Shrooms. You can also find Swift Violets, Octoroks, Darners, butterflies, radishes, and a Hinox. And finally, you guessed it, Satori Mountain, but actually south of the mountain. And of course, you can find lots of things on Satori while you're here. Hylian Shrooms are best used for eating 4 hearts. Eating a raw one will give you half a heart, and cooking it will add 1 heart to your dish for each Hylian Shroom cooked. But not only that, they're pretty good for Master Cycle fuel since they're easy to find and you only need 10 for a full tank. They're all over Hyrule and pretty easy to find. My advice is to just pick them up whenever you see them and you'll end up with lots of them towards the end game. But if you still want a good place to farm them at once, I've picked 2 locations from the object map that I'm using. If you want the object map I use, check the link in the description. The first place is the forest in the Great Plateau. The object map shows that there are more than 30 here. And the second place is the forest across the river from the Riverside Stable. You can find more than 20 here, and spoiler for another video, you can also find Ironshrooms here. When cooking Stamell Shrooms, each one cooked gives you different amount of stamina. I think they're useful towards the beginning of the game until you start finding temporary stamina materials. Temporary stamina dishes fully fill your permanent stamina, so after a certain point, Stamell Shrooms aren't really needed. However, you may still want to collect them. There are some decent places to find them if you look in the object map I use, but there are 3 that I picked. The forest by the Riverside Stable, you'll find up to 20 Stamell Shrooms and lots of other different shrooms. It may be a little scattered, but around the Thundra Plateau, you can find about 25. And if you haven't seen any of my other videos, there's so many things like Octoroks, Swift Violets, Endura Shrooms, butterflies, and so much more. And finally, of course, Satori Mountain. South of the mountain, you'll find about 50 of them there, and there are lots of other things around Satori Mountain. Besides trying to collect them, Chillshrooms are another material used for cooking. You need them for heat resistance. Each one cooked gives you 2.5 minutes, and you need 3 for level 2 heat resistance, and that's about it. There are 2 places I prefer to get them. The first is around the Snowfield Stable. You can find about 30. And just to name a few good things you can get around here, there's meat, even rare raw whole birds, ice breath Lizalfos, ice keys, big Hearty Truffles, butterflies, darners, and 3 Lionels. And the best place to farm just Chillshrooms is in the Endura Snowfield. There's more than 70 there. And if you go east from here, you can fight a Lionel, a Hinox, and this is a great place to get some hot peppers and farm Nadra. Besides trying to collect them, Sunshrooms are a material used for cooking and upgrading the snow quill gear. If you cook them, they give Link cold resistance. Each one cooked gives 2.5 minutes, and you need 3 Sunshrooms for level 2 cold resistance. In order to upgrade a snow quill gear, you need a total of 15 Sunshrooms to upgrade each material to level 3. Also, there is one side quest that involves Sunshrooms. It's a small one, but when you bring the Sheikah Slate to Pura and Simon, he'll ask to take a picture of a Sunshroom. Just go to the back of the tech lab and take a picture of the Sunshroom there and show it to him. That's basically all you need Sunshrooms for. There's a few places with a few Sunshrooms, but one with a lot. I'll share all locations so you can decide if it's worth the trip. But again, you can check the link in the description for the object map I use. First, north of Hateno Tech Lab, there's a forest that should have about 10 Sunshrooms. Next, the Satori Shroom Tree. There's 8 Sunshrooms, and of course, there's lots of things on Satori. This tree has lots of shrooms, lots of beetles if the mountain is glowing, and you name it, Satori may have it. Next, follow the path north of the foothill stable. You should find about 15 Sunshrooms. You can also find some worm darners, fire choo-choos, a guardian, the rare raw whole birds, fireproof lizards, and in the water you can catch some sizzlefin trout. In the Rito Village you can buy 4. Definitely always buy them when you visit Rito Village. And finally, buy the gut check rock. There's more than 20 here. You can also grab a Hinox, sizzlefin trout, and fireproof lizards. And their secret ability, which really isn't a secret, is that they create an updraft if they're on fire. Zapshrooms are needed to upgrade Link's rubber gear. You need a total of 15 Zapshrooms to upgrade each equipment to level 3. Besides that, you can also use Zapshrooms for cooking shock resistance dishes. They give the highest level for shock resistance. Each one cooked gives you 2.5 minutes, and you need at least 3 Zapshrooms to get to level 3 shock resistance. There's 2 places I recommend farming Zapshrooms, and the first is south of Satori Mountain. There's one spot with about 15, and of course there's lots of other materials to get on Satori Mountain. And the best place to get Zapshrooms is in the Akala region. There's about 80 in this area. You can also get rare Octorok eyeballs, electric rhino beetles, and there are 2 Lionels. First, with cooking Rushrooms, they're used for speed boost. Cooking them alone won't get you to level 3, but cooking one of them with 3 Swift Violets or Fleet Lotus Seeds will get you to level 3, and of course, throwing a Dragon Horn will make that level 3 speed boost last for 30 minutes. The side quest that needs Rushrooms is in the Gerudo Canyon stable. A man there will give you a diamond if you give him 55 Rushrooms. There are about 10 Rushrooms in that area. After receiving a diamond, you give him 55 again and he will give you 330 rupees. That is more than selling anywhere else, but if you want more rupees you can always watch the video where I compare all the rupee farming methods. Check the card in the corner or the link in the description. And the final thing you need Rushrooms for is to upgrade gear. The sand boots and the snow boots both need 15 to upgrade them to level 3, and 9 Rushrooms are needed to upgrade all climbers gear to the first level. Now for finding Rushrooms, it's actually not easy to find a great place to farm them. Rushrooms are found all over Hyrule, but there are a few locations I've chosen, and having a decent bow and arrows will help. The first location is the Shrine from the Perfect Drink side quest. Travel there and you can quickly grab 9 of them. Staying in the Gerudo Desert, if you go to the northwest region, you'll find some along the walls. Use a bow and arrow to knock them down and you can get about 20. This is a decent place to collect some Worm Saflinas and some Lizalfo's tails. If you go to the shrine west in the Gerudo Highlands, you'll find some Rushrooms close to the shrine. And a short trip northwest up the updrafts, you can find more than 20. You can also find some butterflies, darners, raw whole birds, and Farouche. Of course, you can go to Satori Mountain. There's 2 spots here, just north of the mushroom tree where you can find more than 10, then go north and you can find about 10 more. And of course, in every video I mention Satori because you can get almost every material here. And finally, the Thundra Plateau. They're along the northern and western walls. Use a bow to knock them down and you can get more than 40. And of course, Thundra Plateau surprisingly has many other materials like Swift Violets, butterflies, Octoroks, and many more. Basically, you don't really need Razorshrooms unless you want to collect them. However, they are pretty decent for cooking. Bananas are better since they're easier to find, but Razorshrooms do just as much. Each one cooked adds 50 seconds to your dish, and if you cook 4, you'll get to level 3. Adding a dragon horn, of course, will make that dish last for 30 minutes. If you want the best way to get dragon horns, check the card in the corner or the link in the description for the method I use. There are 2 places I would collect Razorshrooms. The first place is in the Torrent wetlands east of Terrytown. There are only 12 here, but you can collect other things while you're here. There's big Hearty Truffles, Amaranth, radishes, 2 guardians, and a few other materials. And the best place to farm Razorshrooms is not Satori Mountain, but the whole area north of Hyrule Castle. If you go to the northeast direction, you can get about 50, and there are butterflies, darners, big Hearty Truffles, two Hinoxes, and a Lionel. If you continue west, in the forest before the Lost Woods, east of the military training camp, you can get up to 30 Razorshrooms. And while you're here, you can do the arrow glitch to get 999 arrows. Check the card in the corner or the link in the description to learn how I did this glitch. There are other materials that give you defense, but I like to use Ironshrooms because they're easy to get, and using 4 will get you to level 3. Each one cooked gives you 50 seconds, but adding a dragon horn will make that dish last for 30 minutes. There's really only one place I would get Ironshrooms, and that is in the forest across the river from the Riverside Stable. You can find almost 50 of them. Silent Shrooms are needed to upgrade each piece of stealth gear. You need about 24 to upgrade them to level 3. They also can be used for cooking. You can get to level 3 stealth with 5 silent shrooms, so what I would do is cook 2 of them with 2 silent princesses and a dragon horn. This will get you level 3 stealth that lasts for 30 minutes. There are a few places to get silent shrooms, but I chose 2 places. First, the forest south of the Dueling Peaks stable, there's more than 20. And if you're on the cliff in this corner while it's raining, a lot more will appear. And the second place is in the forest across the river from the Riverside Stable. There's more than 20 here. And this is a decent place to get some Octoroks and the best place for Ironshrooms. All of the skulls on the map are where the big Hearty Truffles are. Where I usually like to go first, I usually come to Hira region. I'll go to this shrine and I'll grab these. And then sometimes I'll grab these 2 depending on how I feel. Just the time that it takes, sometimes it's not worth it. I do ignore this one, it's annoying to get to. This is also annoying to get to. I then go to this shrine and I grab these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I ignore this one and I ignore this one. Again, they're annoying to get to, so I don't. And the same with these 4. The only closest shrine is this, and you have to do a lot of climbing to get here, and climb here to go around. Then you can go here. There are 2 right here, and I'll grab this, this, and this. The next thing I like to do, I'll go here to this shrine. I'll grab the bike, grab this one, kill the Lionel over here. Grab these. I like to go this way because there's lots of Razorshrooms here. And I'll grab these 2, and I'm going to ignore those 2. Again, it's too far, and for me it's not worth the time. Then I go here to this shrine by the fairy fountain. I'll jump down here, grab these 5, and kill the 2 guardians here. Hopefully you get a giant core. This section is a little funny. I go to Skull Lake here, I jump here, I grab this one. There's lots of electric beetles around this area, so I grab them and kill the Hinox to grab its Hinox guts. I'll jump here, kill all the Octoroks here because their eyeballs are hard to come by. Grab this one, jump down here, kill the Lionel here, grab its stuff. Get these shrooms. come down to this one and kill the guardians here and grab this one. This again is a little annoying to get to, for there's a wall there, it's annoying to get up, so I ignore those two. And then the last place I'll go is here. I know it says there's only 3, but there's a lot of materials here that you can grab. Lots of mushrooms, Endura mushrooms are here, Endura carrots are here. Everything is here. That's why I still grab these 3. There is one in the castle. It's in the dining area. And there's one right over here on Tingle Island. And that's all you really need to know. The truffles don't do much except give you full health and additional 4 temporary hearts. This concludes all videos on mushrooms in Breath of the Wild. I hope you enjoyed these videos and I hope you found them helpful. If you like them, give them a thumbs up. And if you want more Zelda content, I hope you consider subscribing or at least checking out the channel. See you next time!